Welcome to the Girl You're a Goddess podcast, the sacred space where divine feminine energy meets passion and purpose. I'm Hillary Burton, a licensed therapist, feminine empowerment coach, and professional dominatrix. I'm here to guide you on a transformative journey of confidence, sensuality, and magnetic power. Whether you're manifesting your dream life, reigniting passion in your relationships, or simply seeking more joy and pleasure, this podcast is your guide to becoming the goddess that you were meant to be. Hello. Welcome, gorgeous goddesses. I am so excited to be joining you for episode 2 of Girl, You're a Goddess. So thank you so much for tuning in, especially in these early stages of the podcast. I'm so excited you are here. I feel like things are coming along. I have my gorgeous gold wall behind me, and if you're only listening to audio, definitely check out some of the video for this on YouTube because the wall behind me is absolutely stunning. Anyways, it fits in the whole goddess vibe. But today we are going to be talking about feminine energy and why it is so important and why you see so much about feminine energy now. Because through time, through culture, through patriarchy, through the development of religion, women have gotten so far away from their feminine energy and pushed towards their masculine. The feminine used to be worshipped. The feminine was revered. The feminine was adored. Goddesses were worshipped. The deities were goddesses. It was not a male creator. And when you look back at those previous religions, those previous civilizations, the role of women in those civilizations was vastly different than what we have today. Women were confident. Women were praised for their sexuality. Women were free. Women were safe. It was so vastly different than what we're experiencing today. And so I know part of my purpose here, part of my journey is to bring some of that back through goddess worship and through our self-worth and our confidence and knowing that we deserve the absolute best and we deserve the most incredible life that we've been dreaming of. But to get there, we need to come back into our feminine energy. Because if we are not coming back into our feminine and we are still operating in our masculine, we are still living society the way men tell us to, it's not going to happen. So we all have feminine and masculine energy. Women have both feminine and masculine. The easiest way for me to describe it is feminine is the being and masculine is the doing. Do we need both? Yes. Do both help us get towards our goals? Yes. The masculine provides the structure, the problem solving, the discipline, the doing. And our feminine is the flow, the ease, the creativity, the creative energy. Our sacral chakra is literally the creative energy. It's how we create life. It's how we create businesses. It's how we create passion. It's how we create purpose. It's how we create love. We are infinitely abundant. So if you right now feel like you are living in a lacking state, you're living in a lacking mindset, lacking abundance, you have not tapped into your sensual, your sacral energy, because that is true creation. And there is infinite abundance within you to create whatever you want, whatever that looks like. Women are the inherent creators. We are born with that power. And not only do we get penalized for it through society, but we get shamed for it. We get guilted for it. We get guilted whether we use it or we don't use it. Women can't win with this, right? Because it's like, we're shamed if we're proud of our sexual nature. We're shamed if we enjoy sex and we like our sexual energy and we enjoy being free and we enjoy playing in that. And we're also shamed if we keep it tucked away and we don't talk about it and then we're a prude. And so it's this no win in our society right now where women talk about their sexuality and we have to literally just block all that out. None of that matters. Other people's opinions about it do not matter. Perceived judgment, shame, straight up bullshit, it does not matter. You are the author of your own life. You are creating what your life is looking like. And we need to stop basing our worth, our value, our desires, our lives, our businesses, our family life. We need to stop creating that around what other people expect it to look like or what other people want or what other people approve of. Especially men. We are not wired the same way. We are not made for the same things. We are not supposed to do this journey like men are. Men are here to protect, provide, to build, to give space, to hold accountable. Men are here to provide the structure for women to create. And we are creating with our sensual energy, with our feminine energy, with our ease and flow. We are creating with our love and abundance. That is why it is so important for women to get back into their feminine energy, because your life will look completely different. You will start manifesting your dreams, your dream life, your dream career, your dream business, your dream man, your dream family. You will start manifesting everything you have wanted. Once you are in creativity, in flow, in ease, and you are living for you, you are not living for everyone else's purpose. We're going to chat a little bit about how to know whether you are in your healing feminine, because we don't want to say that we're healed, because it's always a process, right? So there's never a point where we're actually healed. But if we're working towards healing our feminine, or if we are in wounded feminine energy, and the first thing that comes to mind with being in our feminine energy is self-worth and confidence. Your self-worth is the base of everything you do in life. Your self-worth says the type of people you attract in your life. Your self-worth determines what kind of career you have. Your self-worth determines what abundance you're bringing in. Your self-worth determines how you view your body, your family, your partner, your friendships. Your self-worth is the basis of your entire reality, of everything that you experience. And so, if you are in your wounded feminine right now, you may be seeking external validation for that self-worth. You may be seeking that from outside sources, whether that's compliments from men, whether that's affirmations from your family, whether that's your group of friends that tell you, I like when you do this, I like when you wear this, or if you look this way. It's also people pleasing. When you are looking for that external validation, you do it through people pleasing, because you want people to be happy with what you're doing. You want people to acknowledge you. You want people to give you a pat on the back and give you confirmation that you're doing a great job. That is still external validation. That is still living for other people's happiness, other people's priorities. And then ultimately, if you're in your wounded feminine and you don't feel worthy, you feel like you're not enough. You feel like you are not worthy just because you exist. You are worthy because of what you do for other people, or how you present yourself, or, what a great wife you are, or you feel like you're worthy because you're a great mom. And yes, those things can be true, but your worthiness does not come from what you're doing for other people. Your worthiness is inherent. You were born with it. You are born with your worth just because you exist. Just because you're here. You are a goddess just because you're here. So, if you are in your healed feminine, you know your worth. You know how much value you bring. You do not hang around low vibrational people, people that are negative, people that try to bring you down, people that do not respect your boundaries. When you are in your healing feminine, you are able to set your boundaries and you're able to hold people to them. And this is fascinating right now, because I'm dealing with this a lot on social media. And I'm going to tell you this little backstory, because there's lots of chaos going on about it right now. People are big mad. I posted a video about how a friend was talking about how she went on a coffee date with a man, and he stood in line behind her, and she ordered her coffee, and she looked behind at him, and he said, "Oh, I've got mine." As in, he wasn't going to buy her coffee. And so she was kind of asking for advice about what to do in that situation. And I posted this conversation. And about 50 women said, that's why I would never accept a coffee date, because coffee dates are low effort. So then I just offhandedly made a video about how I don't accept coffee dates. It's low effort. It's low intention. Most men think if they're going to show up for a coffee date, they're going to show up in their gym clothes. And like, it doesn't matter if they're running late. It's so low effort. And so I don't like coffee dates. So I posted a video that my standard was dinner dates and not coffee dates. And the amount of hate and negativity that I got about that video is shocking. So unfortunately, I got wrapped up in the negativity and it really took a toll on my energy levels for a few days. And so I had to do a lot of work about confronting any of those triggers that those comments were making and processing through it and knowing that I have already healed those insecurities. I have already worked through those things. And yes, those comments were hurtful, but they did not trigger my insecurities to the point where I was doubting my self-worth, doubting my value, doubting my standards and expectations. And so there have been a lot of videos from there, and men are still so mad that my standard is a dinner date. And like, what's it to you? First of all, you and I would never be going on a date anyways. I don't online date. So every person that I meet, I've already met in person because I go out and I socialize and I meet people at restaurants, whatever it is. I meet people out and about. And so I have met every person that I'm going to date. Relevant anyways, because who cares that that's my standard? If you don't want to take a woman out to dinner, then that's okay. You just say, I don't take women out to dinner. I prefer coffee dates. Great. End of conversation. You and I are not a match. But it's the fact that they were so triggered and so insecure about not meeting a woman's standards that they said every demeaning, demoralizing, hurtful, nasty, aggressive thing that they could to me just to try to bring me down, to try to get me to lower my standards and lower my expectations. I will never lower my standards or expectations for anyone, any man, ever. What they don't realize is that the more they push this, the more they're hateful, the more they're angry, the more they're hurtful, the more women are going to see, oh, that is not the quality of man that I would date, and now I'm definitely not going on a coffee date. Like, the funny thing is, it wasn't even a super hard line for me before, and I was just like, yeah, I prefer dinner dates. And previously, if a man had asked me out to coffee, yeah, I probably would have gone. I've gone on coffee dates before. But now, seeing that reaction, now it is an absolute brick wall hard line for me. I am not accepting a low effort, low intentional coffee date. I'm not. Because now that tells me that you don't value my time and my energy as the feminine. These men are just valuing my time and my energy as an equal. And I'm sorry, but that's not the case. That is not the case here. We are talking about goddess energy. We are talking about bringing back goddess worship from how many millennia ago. And this low effort, low intentioned, low vibration, coffee date bullshit is not going to be part of my reality. That's not the reality for me. The men I go on dates with are going to be absolutely obsessed with me. They revere me. They adore me. They want to worship me. They respect my time and value my time as the feminine. They respect and understand what feminine energy brings. They understand that feminine energy is the catalyst to their abundance, to their growth, to their success. These men are not the men that are asking women, what do you bring to the table? These men are providing the table and everything on it so that you can be in your purpose and your passion and your fulfillment and bring that energy and abundance tenfold. So no longer are we settling for low effort, low vibrational men that do not respect and adore the feminine. Because if a man does not know what the feminine brings, he's not in his masculine. He's not. Okay, so that was a huge tangent. But the point is, I will not be changing my standards, my expectations for anyone at any time, and no one is the exception. Also another tangent, but why does every man think they're the exception? Every single man thinks they are the exception to the rule. Well, you won't accept coffee dates from anyone else, but I'm special. You should go on a coffee date with me. Why? Why do you think that? You are not the exception, and you will never see me lowering my standards. They're actually getting higher now. So well done, boys, because now the bar is even raised. It wasn't a hard line, but now it's a fucking brick wall. So, anyways. Do not let anyone talk you out of your standards or expectations, because those are just the people that can't meet them. Someone with high standards, high value, high quality, you are never going to see those people shitting on your standards. You are never going to see those people say, oh, you expect men to take you on dinner dates? I expect men to take me across the world. They are never going to shit on your standards. It's only the people that can't meet them. And don't involve yourself with those people. Those people are not at your level. They are not on your vibration. They are not going to bring you anything positive to your life. They are only going to bring you down. Like, the lowest vibration in a relationship is the common denominator. They are going to bring you down. Your energy could be up here, theirs is up here. Slowly that vibration is going to bring you down, not the other way around. Very best, you guys are going to meet in the middle. That is not worth your time, your energy, or your feminine value. Your divine feminine energy is priceless. It is invaluable. And the people that want to take it from you with low effort, low vibration, low intentions, nope. Not my reality. Those people do not belong in my reality. So your self-worth and your confidence are paramount to healing your feminine energy, because it is allowing you to set your boundaries and to have the confidence to hold them, and the confidence to say, I know that this is what I deserve. I know that this is what I am worth, and you can't take that from me. You might not take me out to dinner. That's fine. Someone else will. A quality, masculine provider, protector man will. And that is the man I want to attract anyways. So if you think about it, your standards and your expectations are just weeding out the people that are not for you. Raise them higher. Raise them as high as you can, because then you will only attract the people at that same vibration and those people that are meant for you. So going back to our wounded feminine, healed feminine, we're going to go into the category of emotional expression. So in your wounded feminine, you feel overwhelmed by emotions, you suppress your feelings, or you may become overly reactive. And we see this a lot. We see this a lot in the stories of like the ex-girlfriends who lose their mind, who cause a lot of drama. And there's screaming matches, and there's yelling, and there's throwing, and none of that says healed, safe, loving, feminine. None of that says that. That says insecure. That says overwhelmed. That says unstable. That says reactive. And that is our wounded feminine, because we don't feel safe. So if you feel like the minute someone starts saying something negative to you, someone starts questioning you, someone hurts your feelings, that either you lash out or you suppress them and feel like you can't share that, then you're not in a safe space. And you are not able to hold that space for yourself, nor is a partner. So if you're in a relationship with a partner and you guys have screaming matches. It's very reactive. It's dramatic. There's chaos going on. That partner is not holding a safe space for you in the masculine. The masculine's job is to hold that safety, that communication, and that space for you to be able to feel safe and express yourself, even if they don't like what you're going to say. So if you are not in a relationship with a partner and you do not have a masculine to hold that safe space for you, you need to learn how to hold it yourself. And this is where we bring in some of our masculine energy, because we have to hold that space. We have to be able to process our emotions. We don't just push them down to control them. We process them. You do the inner work to figure out, why is this triggering me so much? Why is this setting me over the edge? Why is my nervous system dysregulated right now? Why am I having these physical reactions to this conversation? And there's so much more to it than just the conversation that you're having right now. There is some wound, there is some trauma, there is some stress, there is a physical dysregulation to that topic, that event, whatever it is. So doing the inner work to heal those emotions, to stop suppressing them, to bring them forward, and being able to communicate it. That's where you don't see any more reactivity. That's where you're able to express your emotions safely without getting out of control. And so when you're in your healed feminine energy, you embrace emotions as guidance. They give you direction on where to go and what to do. If you are in a relationship with someone and you're having these emotions and your nervous system is dysregulated and you're feeling like you are not safe, that tells you everything you need to know about being in that relationship with that person and that they are not holding that space for you. In your healed feminine, you are able to express your feelings and you're able to communicate them clearly. You're able to say, this action that you took made me feel this way. And depending on your relationship and how that goes, you may choose to stay. That may be something that you're able to resolve, and you may choose to not stay. Because if that person does not have emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, and communication skills, you are never going to feel like you're in a safe space. So learn how to hold that space for yourself. And if your partner does not match that, then they're probably not a good fit for you. So we talked about self-worth and confidence in our healed feminine, emotional expression. And going into relationships, we see a lot of wounded feminine attributes in relationships. It's the women who tend to be very jealous, very attached, very insecure, very anxious. And like, I get it. I've been there. I have been that super insecure, jealous girlfriend who never wanted my man to go out, who was obsessed about who he was texting and what he was doing. I was so anxiously attached because I didn't know my worth. I didn't know my value. My worth and my value was wrapped up in that man. And I thought he was the best thing that I was ever going to get. And I so desperately didn't want to lose it that I would just attach myself and cling and feel insecure about it. Which is the exact opposite of being in our healed feminine. Because when you are in your healed feminine, you are the priority. You are embodying your self-love. You are confident as fuck. You know that you're the prize. You know your self-worth. You know your value is unmatched. And this is not from a competitive mindset. This is not competing with other women. There is abundance for all of us. We are all goddesses. We are all gorgeous. Literally just knowing that your value is off the charts and that man is lucky to have your energy. So when you know that and you're in your healed feminine, then you start attracting partners that align with you. You start attracting partners that see your value and see your worth and want to love you. They want to adore you. They revere you. moving into flow versus control. We see control pop up also in those relationships with the wounded feminine because you're insecure about what your partner is doing, who they're talking to, where they're going, so you want to control it. When you are in the controlling mindset of your wounded feminine, you're trying to force outcomes, your fears, your uncertainty, and you're operating from scarcity. Because you don't trust enough that things are going to work out for you, so you feel like you have to have a stronghold on every part of it. Just like a white-knuckled grip on life. It has to look this way. This has to happen. This person has to be in my life in this way. It reminds me of my parents right now because they are so set in tradition and the way our family has always done things and trying to control life through that way. And they're so resistant to change and so resistant to flow that anytime anything happens with a regular family gathering where it's just out of the norm, there's a huge issue about it. There's a huge blow up because they've lost control of it and there's change. And they're not open to change. They're not open to flow. They're not open to ease. There's just this stronghold on what everything has to be. We need to let go of that. And then we need to let go of the control. Because you know what? The universe, creator, has so many more incredible things in store for us than we can even imagine, than we can even plan out. Like, our imagination is this big, and the universe is out here, literally with everything, every single possibility. And those possibilities are so much more incredible than we can even fathom. Like, our minds can't even process that possibility coming into our existence. So we have to trust and we have to let go of it because all of that is going to come to us 10 times better than we even imagined it if we're not controlling the outcome, if we're not controlling every single step. This really resonates with me because I was an absolute control freak early on in my life. And I mapped out every single year of my life and what that was going to look like. And, it had to be perfect. I graduated high school early so I could get into college early, so I could start my career early, so I could get accepted into grad school early, so that then I could get married, and then I could get the career, and then I would get the house, and then I worked myself into such extreme drain, exhaustion, and resentment, all in my masculine energy, all because I had to control everything. Because I did not trust that it would work out for me, and I thought I had to have a stronghold on life. So, fast forward, I get divorced, and I should say it was a positive experience. It was not. It was a very negative experience, but everything that came from it was positive because I'm exactly where I'm meant to be today. And planning everything out in such succession and such perfection to see it all just end right then and there was the wake-up call, the snap out of it that I needed to realize, oh, there's so much more to this. There is so much more to this. And I had this whole little tiny mediocre life planned out when I can have these massive dreams, massive vision, massive plan for my life. And so when you open up to that and you allow yourself to flow and ease and surrender to the divine timing, knowing that everything is going to work for you exactly when it's meant to, in your highest good, in your best favor, that is peace. That is security. That is safety. That is love. When you're following your intuition, that's healed feminine. When you say, you know what, here's my vision. This is my dream life. This is what I want it to look like. I don't know how I'm getting there. And that's okay, because all of that's going to come to me. The right opportunities, the right resources, they're going to pop up. I'm going to follow my intuition. I'm going to surround myself with people that know my value, that love me, that respect me, that bring positivity into my life. I'm going to trust that everything is working out in my favor and my highest good. That is operating in your healed feminine. My favorite way to connect to my feminine is through sensual energy. And we see such a huge disconnect between women today and their sensual energy and our bodies in general. Our bodies are either at two extremes. We are over-sexualized or under-sexualized. We are way over-sexualized in everything to do with social media and culture, right? Like literally, there is a huge population of men that just sees us as sex objects and sex toys, right? They don't make emotional connections with us during sex. It's literally just, you're a body. And then there's the other end of the spectrum where, we're supposed to be these absolutely pure virgins who have never had a single thought about sex, who have never even looked at something sexual, right? And that's supposed to be like the the epitome of feminine. And there's so much perversion on both sides of that, to where we get so disconnected from our sexuality. Like, again, it puts us in the no-win. And then the women who are out here who are making money off of OnlyFans, who are making money as dominatrixes, who are making money as all of these things in their sexual energy, are shamed and demeaned and degraded by society. But who's paying for all that? Men are supporting that. You might not like it, and you're probably going to call them sluts. But you know what? You're paying for it. You're supporting it. And this has been one of the biggest ways that women have started making money for themselves. Influencers, OnlyFans, like big money. And they're making it off of men's wallets, which I love. I love it. But there's such a divide. And there's so much just straight up bullshit about women's sexuality out there when it's nobody's business but our own. Literally, it means nothing to anyone else. And I'm going to make a podcast on this later, but I've been looking into a lot of things about how, because our like initial sexual experiences are usually tied to being with a male, that it becomes just an activity for men that we only do with men. And it's like something that we just give them. Instead of learning from teenage years as we hit puberty, that it's our power. It's our power. It's our pleasure. It's something we can do for ourselves. And it doesn't have to be connected to a male. It does not have to be connected to a man, a boy, whatever it is. It's for us. Our sexual energy is for us to create whatever we want. Maybe that is creating a relationship with a man. Maybe that's creating our dream reality. Maybe that's creating our dream career. Our sexual energy is for us. It is not for anyone else. And so when you are able to tap in to your sexual energy, embrace your sensuality, feel safe in your body, and allowing your pleasure to flow freely. Not having a structure or routine around it, not having rules around pleasure for yourself. You can enjoy that and enjoy yourself whenever you want. You can make it as indulgent as you want. And it does not belong to a man. It belongs to you. And so breaking away from the shame and feeling disconnected from our bodies, because so many times we are treated as just sexual objects, and knowing that your body was created for your power, your sensuality. You are literally a goddess. You chose this body for this lifetime because she is serving your highest purpose. And girl, figure out how to bring yourself pleasure. Figure it out. Figure out what works for you. Because no one's going to do it except you. I mean, there are a few men out there, but Figure it out for you. What brings you pleasure? What do you enjoy? Make it something for yourself to create and flow and connect with. And then the last way we're going to talk about being in our healed feminine versus our wounded feminine is when we're in our wounded feminine, we feel stuck, we feel trapped, we feel uninspired, we feel like we can't express ourselves, we feel like we're going to be judged, we're worried about everyone else's perceptions. But when you're in your healed feminine, you're able to tap into your creativity because you have that self-worth, you have that confidence, and your sensual energy. You have already tapped into that. So now you're effortlessly creating, you're expressing yourself, and you trust yourself. So many of us put ourselves into boxes of what we need to be, of what society expects us to be, when you can be anything you want. I am a therapist. I am a dominatrix. I am a model. I am a women's coach. You can be anything you want. And your intuition is going to tell you what's for you. And even if it seems super random, even if it seems very inconsequential, just go do it. If you have a calling to go paint, go do it. If you have a calling to ride horses or do pottery or pick up martial arts or archery or gardening or anything, if you feel called to express yourself differently, to step outside the box, to find something new, please go do it. That is your intuition, your inner self calling to you. And so maybe you want to start pottery. You go to that pottery class, you learn you don't like pottery. But maybe you sat next to an incredible woman who you had a great conversation with, and now you guys are going on a coffee date for fun as a friendship. And now you've just made a new incredible friend. Like, you never know where those dominoes are going to lead you. So when you are trusting your intuition, when you are trusting your flow, go do it. Go do it. So the biggest thing is, we know we want to shift into our healed feminine energy. Figuring out where you are in your wounded or healed energy. Are there any areas of your life where you feel like you're operating in wounded feminine energy? Play this episode back, listen to those categories again, and see, do I have those reactions? Am I feeling that way? Does my life look that way? So figure out any areas that you are operating from your wounded feminine. And in those areas, do the inner work to figure out why. And then reconnect. Reconnect with your intuition. Meditate, sensual dance, go move your body, be in the water. Whatever helps you feel feminine, whatever helps you feel flowy, whatever helps you feel empowered, that is your feminine energy. So you can sit in stillness, you can self-reflect, you can meditate, you can do an embodiment practice, whatever feels good to you to help reconnect and work yourself through that wounded feminine to your healed feminine. And it starts with setting our boundaries, stopping people pleasing. You are your priority, loving yourself, having self-worth, and having self-trust. Knowing that you've got it. Knowing that you hold the safe space for yourself. You have that masculine energy. You have that ability to hold that space for yourself. And until a partner comes into your life to do that, or maybe you don't want one, and that's okay too, you can hold that space for yourself. For your emotions, for your self-worth, for your value, for your trust, knowing that everything is working in your highest good. There is limitless abundance. Limitless. The women out here who are doing fucking incredible things, making massive amounts of money, they're not competition. They're proof that you can do it too. They are living proof that they have pushed past those thresholds, pushed past their limiting beliefs, pushed past the invisible glass ceilings. If they're doing it, you can too. There is limitless abundance. We literally create it in our wombs. We create it through our sensual energy. We were born with that power. You were born with the power to create whatever you want, and you are worthy just because you exist. I hope this was helpful and illuminating in determining where you're at in your feminine healing journey, whether you're still in some wounded feminine stages or if you're primarily in your healed feminine and you're living your life in pleasure and passion and bliss and love and self-worth. Because as women, collectively, when we are tapping into our feminine, it raises the bar for the rest of the universe. It truly raises the bar. So the more that we can tap into it, the more that we can lift each other up, lift ourselves up, and support one another in our feminine journeys, it's transformational. So, thank you for joining me today. If there's anything you take away from these episodes, I hope that you know that you are an absolute goddess and you are worthy just because you exist. Thank you guys. I will see you next week.